It's really been an amazing example of Accenture doing what it does best, really leading the way and helping our people continue to work wherever they may be, as well as helping our clients do the same.
I'm Jason Warnke, part of the Accenture Global IT organization, and I'm glad to be here today with Sarah Dugan, who's Accenture's Digital Worker Change and Adoption Lead. We're here today to talk about how we are supporting our people who are working remotely around the world today and in the future. As unprecedented numbers of people are working remotely due to the current circumstances, supporting our remote workers becomes even more critical. Thanks for joining me today, Sarah. Let's dive right in.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me. There is definitely a lot to talk about. It's a challenging time for all of us, but we're finding new ways to help our digital workers, and I'm really excited to talk about it today.
Great. Well, it is definitely a dramatically changed environment that we find ourselves in. And this is a topic that we have spent quite a bit of time and focus on even before, as we say, the current circumstances. So can you talk to us a little bit about what digital worker means for our people at Accenture?
Yeah, I mean, as we think about what digital worker means, it's taken on a little bit of a different context in the current environment. At Accenture, we were in many ways prepared for this type of situation. Many of our people already work virtually, if not full-time, for a good portion of their job. And also, we had many of the technologies and the infrastructure and the services in place to enable our people to work virtually. We are open for business, we are operating, and our folks are able to continue to be productive and do what they need to do every day. So it's really been an amazing example of Accenture doing what it does best, really leading the way and helping our people continue to work wherever they may be, as well as helping our clients do the same.
Yeah, that's right. We have been really used to this way of working for quite some time, but maybe not to this intensity, right? So although we have really no central headquarters and our leadership team connects virtually, it's something they've been used to for quite some time. And our teams working with clients where they've got a distributed team all over the world in many cases, the intensity at which we are now working remotely and having to learn all new behaviors and practices is really, of focus right now. So tell us a little bit about what we're doing to help people get used to some of those new things that they've got to bring into focus to perform their jobs and serve their clients.
It was a bit surprising, I'll admit, but we quickly realized, to your point, we've never had to do it at this scale, and that there was still a lot that we could do to help enable our people to work and be connected and continue to collaborate and create. So we've done a couple of things, and we did this very quickly. The first thing we did was set up a portion of our digital worker website all focused on working virtually. And within this site, we have resources about what it takes to work virtually, what people need to be doing, the tools they need to be using, the behaviors they should be thinking about. And it's gotten a great reception. So that site has been a resource now that's being used across the company. We've done a lot of other things as well. We took all the information that was on that site and we quickly spun up a training course about working virtually. And we've been offering that twice a day, every day for all of our employees. It might seem that it's intuitive, but there is a lot to learn for folks that aren't used to working that way. So this training course is helping them figure out the best way to work remotely. We're also doing things like writing articles and posting them on our internal portal, talking about all the different stories and examples, and again, providing resources. And then really importantly is we're very closely aligned and working with our other groups within Accenture, like marketing and HR, as we talk about how people can take care of themselves, how they can continue to be successful during this time, and really thinking about what are all the ways that we can work together and come together to help each other. And then I would say in addition to what we're doing to help our own employees, we're also taking everything that we've learned about our digital worker tools and working virtually, and we're now offering those assets and helping our clients do that. So we have a new offering out on Accenture.com, and we're also partnering with Microsoft and Avanade to make a lot of our training capabilities and training resources available for our clients and people globally to help them understand what they can be doing in this current environment as well.
It's we love what we do, obviously, in supporting our 500,000 people globally be digital workers. But what's even more gratifying is being able to, in a time of world crisis, being able to share what we've learned and our best practices with the rest of the world, with our clients and anyone else that needs that assistance, which right now many folks do. So how are we actually enabling our people? What are the things that we're focused on training the various groups on using? It's certainly an overwhelming topic if you think about all the different aspects, but how are we breaking it down so that people can consume this content?
Yeah, so it always comes back to the behaviors. What do people need to do versus starting with the tools? And first and foremost, we understand that during this time, people should be and are most concerned about themselves and their families. And we incorporate that into all of the material that we're developing. So really helping people understand what they need to do for themselves to make themselves productive and safe and healthy at home. We talk a lot about figuring out the balance of work and home, which often changes when you're at home. Finding the right place to work at home. How can you still connect with people? So we always start there. But then we start to move on to all of the different behaviors that our people do every day as they do their work, as they work with our clients. And that really is about collaboration. We focus on how can people continue to collaborate with their Accenture colleagues, as well as how can they continue to collaborate with our clients. And we talk about the tools that they need to use for that. And we talk about ways that they can continue to communicate in a virtual environment, which oftentimes they're used to communicating, face to face with their clients. We think about what does it take to have those virtual meetings? How can you best present yourself on video? And some of the most tactical things we are finding are often the most helpful. So even helping people think about what's the best way that they can be seen and be heard? Do they have the right audio and visual equipment? Are they using them in the right way? We get down to very specific details there. And then another big piece that our people are focused on is workshops and I would say, collaboration and innovation in a virtual environment, which is very different. Our people and our clients are very used to being together when we do large training sessions or large workshops where people are really thinking through and whiteboarding different information. So we're really helping our people think about how can you continue to do those things in a virtual environment and still be engaging and still have innovation and still have ideas that we're working on together. That's been an area that has been really exciting as our people have shifted and have been able to successfully move into a virtual environment for that. And then the last piece too is one that maybe is surprising, but thinking about still being mobile and using your mobile device. Although we may not be on the go as much, we really encourage our folks to continue to have a mobile device because it does allow them to take a walk perhaps when they're doing a meeting or move around in their house and also have a backup plan if they do need another way to connect. So we're talking with them about that as well. So it is a lot of information, but we come back to and focus on what are the behaviors, what is most important for our people to continue to be productive, be safe, be healthy in this environment.
That's a great set of things to focus on. Getting into like the different use cases where you would want to employ new techniques and tools, and then giving very guided instruction and best practices for each of those. Because, like you said, many of those workshops were things people did in a conference room together with sticky notes and did design thinking workshops in person where you had that sort of interaction, and now you've got to think about innovative ways to do that without being together. So I love the focus on thinking about the use case and the behaviors and the best practices that support that use case. That's tremendous. So certainly done a lot for Accenture in supporting that. But what are we hearing from our clients? What are they looking to do? Are they similar to us in having the same sorts of needs? And what are we suggesting to those companies that are looking to quickly enable their workforce to work this way?
We're definitely hearing the same types of questions, the same types of concerns that we're working with here at Accenture from many of our clients. Again, as we said, we had a lot of this in place, so we're able to quickly pivot back to what was our strategy for digital working, which Jason, you and I have talked about on one of our previous podcasts. So really just bringing that back up to the forefront. And of course, we love to talk about the behaviors because that's what matters, but the technology really comes into play here. So as we're talking with our clients, we're talking about the ways that we take advantage of cloud-based technologies, and really critical to all of this working virtually comes back to the Microsoft Office 365 suite, and in particular, Microsoft Teams. We're a huge user of Microsoft Teams at Accenture, and it has been tremendous to see how much collaboration, connection, and creation has been able to continue virtually in a seamless manner because our people were already used to working with Microsoft Teams. We all kind of say, well, thank goodness we made that big transition because we didn't know how valuable that would be. But we were all operating on Microsoft Teams before this shift to working virtually, and it has become one of the most critical tools that we're using. And very much integrated into Teams are other tools like OneDrive for Business and Microsoft Whiteboard. Those tools that work seamlessly together really help all of our people continue to do all the same things that they did face to face, and they can now do it virtually. So people are using video, and they're having calls, and they're whiteboarding virtually, and they're doing all of this from their home, which has been really amazing to see. So we've been talking to our clients about this and having them think about what is their strategy, what are the collaboration tools that they're using. And again, also coming back to making sure that people are enabled on some of those mobile applications. So making sure they have Teams and OneDrive on their mobile devices. And then just really working with our clients to really understand what are their biggest concerns at this time, and how can we take all of the learnings and the things that we're doing in Accenture to help them really solve their problems.
That's really cool. Very comprehensive. But we all know at the end of the day, it's the people that make the difference. With that in mind, what tips would you share with people as they begin personally to work remotely? What lessons learned have you had or we've had at Accenture that we're sharing with our people?
We have so many tips, so it's hard to pick just a few, but I think the first key one is really figuring out a place that you can work in your home. And this can get tricky as many people now have kids at home, have other people in their house that are also working. So I think that's the first thing we suggest to people is figure out a place where you can work, where you can set up a space and really be comfortable, have good audio, have good visual. And a great feature, again, of Microsoft Teams is on video, you can do the background blur. So it might not have to be the most, professional looking space. You can use the background blur, but really a place that you can connect and feel comfortable and be focused. And then another tip we always come back to no matter what is working securely. So we've been giving our folks a lot of tips about what that means to be secure and work secure from home. And then, again, I think it just comes back to communication. So it's a new way to communicate, but making sure that you're staying connected to people, staying connected to your teams. We've done a lot of programs here like virtual coffee chats. We've set up a lot of ways for people just to come in and connect, open door policy. People can come and ask questions virtually. So that last tip really is just making sure that you stay connected, that you communicate, because it's a time that all of us need to really come together and find the support when you need it. Make sure you're asking for help and really using the resources that you have available.
Oh, that's awesome. Sarah, great discussion as always. Just like we said last time when we talked about digital worker, you and I could definitely talk about this for days. And as of late, I think we truly have been. But I appreciate the time you spent here today. There's lots happening, and it's really inspiring to see how we're supporting Accenture's digital workplace and our our clients as well in this new environment with all these terrific tools and technologies. I really look forward to hearing more in the future.
Thanks, Jason. Always love to talk to you.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Accenture CIO podcast series on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Find the full CIO 24/7 podcast series and additional ways to subscribe at accenture.com/CIO podcast.